Alright guys, how's it going? So I thought we'd take a look at today's football gossip, see what's in the mainstream media. And, well, I say mainstream media, but some of the outlets, if you want to call them that get included on these in summary things are often websites like 90 Min, for example, which is going to be the first one. And I wouldn't call them mainstream media. I personally don't pay any attention to 90 Min, but it's not for me to exclude things. It's up to you to make your own decisions. I'm sat outside. I do apologise if there's a little bit of wind picked up on the microphone. It's not windy, but I can just feel a little breeze. And these devices often pick up everything. If that happens, I won't do it again. I had a little chuckle to myself actually when I was just at the computer. In my last video, I mentioned a centre-back. I couldn't remember his name. It was De Ligt. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Adam Naylor mentioned it in the comments, and also Miserable Martin messaged me privately and said, was it him? And I said, yeah, it was him, that's right. And it makes me laugh because I obviously have a terrible memory. I forgot what I was going to say. I obviously have a terrible memory, especially when it comes to players' names. I certainly can't pronounce them, as you're about to realise. But I have a terrible memory, can't pronounce the names. How do I manage with this YouTube channel, guys? I don't know how to do it. I guess I remember names when it's important, and I can pronounce names when it's important, maybe. But you've got to understand that I literally read dozens of names every day, and I can never remember I can never remember a thing. I might have to start writing things down. I mean, on this phone, it's got one of them fancy little styluses at the bottom, you know, so maybe I should start using that. Although all I use it for, to be honest, is clearing earwax out of me. Okay. So, 90 Min. I don't like 90 Min. Barcelona are confident of finalising a deal to sign Manchester City and Germany midfielder Ilkay Gundogan, 32. He was linked with Liverpool years ago. A few Liverpool fans have been mentioning him recently, saying, I would like to have seen him at Liverpool. Le Ten Sport in France, Man City and Portugal midfielder Bernardo Silva, 28, is top of PSG's wish list as they look to rebuild next season. Football Insider, another garbage website, if you like. Aston Villa preparing a move to sign Serbia forward Dusan Vlahovic, 23, from Juventus. This is old news. We discussed it last week. Vlahovic, as many of you know, is a player that I rate very highly. He was linked with Liverpool considerably some time ago, and I was really praying that he would come to us, but he didn't. Sport. In Spain, Tottenham have asked Barcelona to name their price for Ivory Coast midfielder Franck Kessie, 26. The Athletic, Liverpool have not made contact with Brighton over a move for 24-year-old Argentina midfielder Alexis McAllister. What you have to understand there is we obviously know that there has been communication and conversations. So you might read that at first glance and say, there's been no contact then. But if we want to believe that article, which I'm not going to read in full anyway, this snippet to me is rather irrelevant. It just says they've not made contact with Brighton. It doesn't mention the agent or the player or anything. In other words, they haven't, opened negotiations regarding a transfer fee or tabled a fee or even said, is your player available? That is the claim. I personally wouldn't pay too much about that. But some people might quickly read that and go, oh, so we didn't have talks then. So it's just going to be, just watch things a little bit. The Express. I'm not sure you'd pay much attention to the Express, but they say Manchester United's protracted chase of Barcelona's Dutch midfielder Frenkie de Jong, 25, looks like it is back on again amid the La Liga club's financial issues. Cinque Minuti. I don't even know what that is. But the Daily Mail have picked up on this. Napoli president Aurelio De Laurentiis says the Serie A champions will not sell 24-year-old Nigeria striker Victor Osimhen, who has been linked with some of Europe's top clubs this summer. Fabrizio Romano, former Gabon captain Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, 33, will leave Chelsea and wants to return to Barcelona. Football Insider, Aston Villa are willing to pay Fulham £60 million asking price to sign 27-year-old Portugal midfielder Palhinha from the London club, a player that Liverpool is said to be monitoring. It doesn't say that in that snippet, but that's what we're led to believe. Going back to Spain with sport, Portugal international Kam J's agent has met with Barcelona about the club signing the Manchester City defender who is on loan at Bayern Munich on a season-long loan with an option to buy the 28-year-old. A little bit of wind getting up there, I don't know if you can hear that. The Mirror, Manchester City will look at a move for Bayern Munich's 20-year-old defender, Dutch midfielder. I feel like I said defender then. Man City will look at a move for Bayern Munich's 20-year-old Dutch midfielder Ryan Gravenberch, who has been linked with Liverpool if they miss out on signing England midfielder Jude Bellingham, 19 from Borussia Dortmund. And again, that was from the Daily Mirror. In Spain, Cadena Cope, I think is the outlet or whatever this is. Belgian forward Eden Hazard intends to see out. Is it Eden Hazard? Eden. We had a cat called Eden. That's why I always say Eden. Intends to see out the final year of his contract at Real Madrid, despite the 30-year-old struggling for first-team football at the Spanish club. Sky Sports Italia, Roma have agreed a deal with France midfielder Houssem Aouar. Do you remember I used to struggle with his name all the time when it used to come up a lot of times? Which will see the 24-year-old join the Italian club in the summer when his contract at Lyon runs out. I didn't know his contract was up. That was a player that was really like heavily linked. You know, like when we come round to, you look at all the players now that have been linked with us, all the midfielders, for example, and then we'll say there's Alex McAllister. That's one right now that we all think is probably going to happen. Well, I used to call this kid the boy from Lyon because I obviously couldn't pronounce his name properly. And the boy from Lyon was one of those players a while ago, a couple of years back, that was receiving a lot of scouting from Liverpool and that. So, and Arsenal had a really strong interest in him at the time as well. But according to this, he's going to Roma. The Football Insider say Adam Lallana picked a key role in convincing his former Liverpool teammate James Milner to join Brighton, with the 37-year-old ex-England midfielder closing in on a deal to join the Seagulls. I don't want to particularly mention this rag, but they're linking Kelleher with Brentford, so we won't read it out, but we can just sort of say what they're saying. But and that, do you know what? That's it. That's it for the gossip this morning. That's not a great deal, is it? Wow. So Gravenberch being linked with Manchester City is interesting. I think that could be a spanner in the works, maybe. I mean, if the lad was, we're led to believe he wants to join Liverpool, but that might have been based on his offers at the time, so I don't think we can just quickly dismiss that one and say, well, that's a load of nonsense, he'll come to us. He is one of those deals that I personally use a term called stacked, which is when I think the club have got a player more or less over the line. It's stacked. He wants to sign for us. The terms are right, but a fee has to be agreed. And I think that deal is kind of just stacked, waiting there, so Liverpool can focus on their primary objectives, which would be the people like Alex McAllister, for example, and they then deal with hopefully the bigger deals first, so that they can review finances and things like that. I think it's pronounced Gravenberch, isn't it? If he, for example, was announced early, I think that would actually be a good sign that Liverpool have agreed a deal with a primary target, a primary objective or something. But for now, I think that Gravenberch, or however you pronounce his name, I think he's one of them that's just stacked, and Liverpool feel fairly confident they could make it happen. But if Manchester City step in, it could be interesting. This is the Mirror. Let me just see who the journalist is involved in this. Tom Hopkinson, never heard of him. So I don't think I pay too much attention to that. I tend to listen to Dave Maddock in the Mirror, and I know that he's been making some noise in this weekend. But Dave Maddock, unfortunately, I don't think he's someone that I would listen to, but his connections at the club are not what they were, according to people that are familiar with the different journalists and the people they know at the club and things like that. However, Dave has been very good over the years, so that's why I continue to, I like to see what he's saying, really. And although I wouldn't want to say Dave Maddock is click, because it sounds like, when I say click, I refer to the click, I mean the click of Liverpool FC journalists that kind of like are all friends and they've all got the same opinions, but sometimes it sounds like a disrespectful reference, and I don't mean it to be. I do think Dave is a bit different to the others. He doesn't seem like he needs to be in a clique or anything to benefit his career or anything. He does seem a bit of a lone wolf. Yeah, I spoke to him, a long time, many years ago, and I'll talk about that one day, definitely. For now, not. But yeah, Dave Maddock, I would listen to what Dave Maddock says, but years ago I would have said to you, if Dave Maddock says something like you would do now, maybe with Paul Joyce. So if you can imagine, that's quite a fall in importance, I think. But again, I'm not being disrespectful, and he doesn't seem like he needs to agree with anyone. I find his articles are a little bit different to the others in the clique, if that makes sense. And they all try to be buddies, and I think they operate in a sense that if one of them is saying something, I've been told this, they're all like, I better, he'll be right. He's my mate, he won't lie to me. And then that's why they all have the same opinions. But anyway, that's today's football gossip. I hope you heard it okay. It's always a good giggle when I do the football gossip roundup, because obviously I can't pronounce the names. The only reason I can't pronounce the names is I don't stay glued to television very much these days. I read more when it comes to football coverage than I do watch. And I'll be completely honest with you, even when I watch Liverpool, I don't really pay much attention to the commentary. I tend to have it turned down. I'm often on my phone seeing what you guys are saying about a game. So I don't really hear the pronunciation of names. And then when someone does point out how to pronounce a name, I forget, because I've got a memory like a sieve. But I think you guys know what I'm like, really. So, I'm doing a live stream this afternoon, okay? 3 o'clock UK time, if you'd like to pop along and have a natter about anything to do with Liverpool. We'll just do an hour or something like that. So thank you. If you like the video, please hit the thanks button or the thumbs up, leave a comment, and I would be particularly interested in whether you think Manchester City's reported interest in Gravenberch, it would be a concern to you. A lot of the journalists in that clique, they're adamant that he will come to Liverpool, I think. I'm not adamant. It's got windy again, I do apologise if you can hear that. I'm not adamant that he will, because I think Liverpool are focusing their attentions elsewhere at the moment, but they've got him in a position where I think we can make that happen. But if City do go in, that might change things a bit. So, and another thing is, if City's interest is genuine, and Liverpool Football Club think it's genuine, they might think now, they might go, maybe we should step that up a little bit and see if we can agree a fee with his club or something. But I'm not sure they would do that just based on a report in the Mirror newspaper, to be honest with you. So Liverpool have a good Liverpool have their ears to everything. So like we look at everything, they do as well. All right, I'm not saying John Henry sat there looking at everything, but a good network of agents and people in the loop. Basically, the recruitment team have a good idea of what other clubs are doing when it comes to possibly getting into into the heads of some of our targets. So anyway, everything seems to be heating up, which is really good. We're seeing some progress with a few things. I think you might not say so because you haven't actually seen it yet, but I do think it's good progress. Everything seems to be, well, we don't know if it's going all right, but it sounds to be. We're seeing more and more credible stuff, I think. And let's just wait and see what happens. All right. hit the thanks, hit the like button, leave a comment, and we'll speak in a bit. 3 o'clock this afternoon. Okay, guys? Thank you.